Hello everybody, my name is Pigsy People. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if you're new. Before we get into the what if, you already know, like, subscribe, hit the post notification bells. Every single YouTuber says it, but I also have to say it because I'm also a YouTuber. And anyways, on to the what if. So we continue our story with Krillin on King Kai's planet after basically self-destructing and killing himself to kill Cell. And he's on King Kai's planet refining his, new form he made up against Cell. And he is now, since 4th, dubbed it Calm Mine. And the reason he called it Calm Mine is because, he's chilled out, not insane when he fights. He still has the overwhelming strength, but he doesn't, blow up on it. And now he would be easily able to take out Cell now, without having to self-destruct himself. So he's basically on the level of, I'll say Vegeta. So after checking on Krillin, we cut over to Bulma, who is really just pondering something about why she hasn't gone to Namek and revived her friend. After, he'll save the world and everything. And she decides, I guess I got nothing else to do, guess I'll do it now. So she takes a spaceship and goes to New Namek. And of course, the Namekians are like, sure, you can use our Dragon Balls. And she uses them to revive Krillin. And Krillin's revived, but Bulma doesn't tell anyone. And Krillin just decides, yeah, it doesn't matter, I'll just stay up here anyways. And so Krillin stays up there for about 2 more weeks until, Goku feels a spike in energy, teleports to where Krillin is to see how he's doing, because he can do that, and realizes that Krillin doesn't have Halo, and Krillin is shocked to see Goku, is like, what the? But Goku is like overjoyed to see that his best friend is alive. So he gives him a big old manly hug, and Krillin reciprocates. And then Goku decides, we're gonna fight. So Krillin just, stances up, Goku stances up as well, and asks Krillin to go into that form he fought Cell with, and Krillin decides okay, and then he starts to power up, and his muscles start to enlarge, and then his muscles shrink back down, and his eyes go to red, and he gets into a stance again. And Goku decides that okay, and then he goes into Super Saiyan 2, which Krillin's never seen this form, of course, because it never happened until now. I'll say, yeah, in this timeline, Gohan unlocked it, which made Goku unlock it as quick as Krillin. And Goku has said that he's working on a new form because he's already perfectly capable in this form. And so Krillin and Goku box, and I'll say Krillin gets on top of here just because he's slightly stronger than Goku here, because he's been able to train and not get exhausted for a while Goku's had to train and not get exhausted. So Krillin's able to etch out the win. And after that, Goku and Krillin just head back to actual Earth, and Krillin just decides that he wants to be alone for a bit. So Goku lets him do that, and then he takes his hand off Krillin and teleports back to his house to tell everyone the good news, mostly Chi-Chi and Gohan. And so Krillin decides he'll walk around, and he decides to get some new clothes after Goku kind of shot a Kamehameha at him and blew his shirt off. So he heads down to the shop and buys some clothes, and he gets a yellow shirt with blue jeans and a white cap and sandals. So then after getting the new drip, he walks out onto the world and just keeps walking. Eventually he noticed a blonde woman and followed her. Well, it turns out it was 18. 18 was purposely made herself visible to Krillin just so they could meet up. And Krillin, you know, is happy to see that she's doing alright. And 18 says she is doing alright and she's gotten a job. And they start talking, and then, you know, they start bonding, getting to a relationship, and, you know, eventually become boyfriend and girlfriend. And, you know, and eventually, I so eventually that relationship blossoms into a marriage and a kid named, well, Marin. And that's what Krillin was up to after being revived. Yeah, that went over about 2 years, 2 or 3 years. I can't remember. I can't remember when the Buu Saga's time skips are. But anyways, eventually it's the Buu Saga. Krillin has hair, and he's realized when he goes into his second big form, his calm mind, his hair glows a light red. Doesn't turn red, it just lightly glows red. And yeah. So eventually they hear about the martial arts tournament and they all go because they all want to do it. And Vegeta is, you know, he's actually chill now. He's not like itching to fight Goku again because he's been able to just walk up to Goku and they've been able to fight and spar. And they actually are on the same level. Krillin is slightly behind, but if he trained with Goku for like a day, they'd get on the same level again. But Krillin's kind of behind. I said in this what if he'd train more, but he's not gonna only be training. He'll train more than he already did, so he's not weak. Anyways, so we get to the martial arts tournament. Everyone's like talking and everything. Goku introduces Krillin to his son Goten, and yeah, so Krillin then, you know, just walks with his kid and 18, and then they start the entrance thing. 18 absolutely obliterates it. Yeah, not Vegeta. 18 destroys it out of annoyance. And Vegeta had to take off his arm to enter the tournament, so he doesn't have his prosthetic arm anymore. Luckily, he's already mastered the technique of fighting with one arm. So, and he's even working on a new technique. I'll explain that technique later. But we continue it with everyone getting into this about the fight, and we see Gohan step into the ring with another guy. So then we see a lady, Videl. Krillin met her a second ago. She was a friend of Gohan, he thinks. Or a girlfriend, he says smirking. Then after, you know, he sees her getting her butt whooped, he goes to step in, considering he knows in fights, if that person is not beaten, the match is called because the person can't move anymore. So before Krillin can step in, he looks over to see Goku calming down Gohan to not swing. So Krillin decides he'll just do it. He'll just, you know, do what Gohan's doing and wait. So after a while, beating on a child, the big bald one with the Majin symbol on his forehead kicks her out of the ring, Videl out of the ring, and Krillin decides that he's going to crush that guy. Because guess who's actually replacing Gohan in this what if? Krillin. Krillin went into Gohan's place. Gohan was supposed to fight the skinny one after this. He was going to beat him up to show that he was weak. So Krillin, before fighting the bald guy, has to fight this pink-haired guy, pink-faced guy. And before he has to fight the big buff bald guy, he fights a guy with a pink face with some weird looking clothes. And he's ready to fight, considering they're on the same height. And before, they even start, the guy says to power up to your full and most powerful state. So Krillin decides, why not? And he starts to power up. And he's powering up, and then he eventually goes into his red glowing haired with red eyes form. Calm Mind. And then before he can even think, the guy holds out his hands and starts freezing him and stopping him. And he's kind of just stuck there. Before the bald people could, swing in, Gohan actually stops the big one from holding Krillin down even more. So, the skinny bald guy stabs Krillin, gets some energy, but not as much as he could have, because Krillin gets out of the, grip easier. Gets out of Supreme Kai's grip because, I think the big bald guy was doing most of the work there. So Krillin gets out of it, takes, and is about to punch the skinny bald guy when the big bald guy flies over to punch Krillin, but Krillin tanks it and punches the guy so hard he, coughs out blood. Krillin didn't mean to do that, but, already done. But before they can do anything, the big bald guy and the skinny bald guy just dip. So Krillin decides he's going to chase them, with the Supreme Kai telling Krillin to wait. But Krillin's not listening, so he follows them. Of course, we cut back to Supreme Kai explaining that he's the Supreme Kai and that he's trying to find where an evil guy named Majin Buu is, and those two bald guys were gonna lead him to them, and it looks like your friend is chasing them, so I suggest we chase after him. So they do that. Everyone chasing after Krillin, and Krillin chasing after the bald guys. And before the bald guys can even get into the lair, Krillin shoots that thing they stabbed him with, because clearly that's what they wanted to protect the most. So he blew it up. So they get in there, the bald guys get in their panic, and Deborah and Babidi just kill them and put them into the Buu. And Babidi's a bit panicked, considering there's people already at his door to, stop him. And he does not have enough energy. And so Krillin just powers down, because he doesn't really need to be in this state. And is about to enter when Supreme Kai's there. Gets there before everyone else. And tells, him to wait. So Krillin waits and asks who he is. And then he explains that he's the Supreme Kai, and he's here to stop a guy named Majin Buu, who's in there, who sucks out of the power of everyone he fights. So Krillin decides to, keep that in mind. So Krillin waits for everyone, and before they can even do anything, Deborah smashes out of the spaceship. Not really smashes out, but sneakily out of the spaceship and tries to spit on Piccolo and Krillin. Before that can happen, Krillin pushes Piccolo out of the way and dodges the spit as that happens. Actually, he grabs Piccolo's cape and pulls both of them down so they'll dodge the spit. And then Krillin gut checks Deborah, and before Deborah can run away, Babidi decides that this is the perfect time and teleports Deborah and Krillin onto a planet so they can fight. So while that's happening, Vegeta, Gohan, and Goku enter the facility. So Krillin's having a long fought-out battle, actually. So Krillin starts out with powering up into his, calm mind, Well, Deborah starts with pulling out his sword immediately because he's annoyed. So Krillin and Deborah fight. Deborah keeps trying to spit on Krillin, eventually accidentally spitting on his own blade, breaking it. So then it's just a fisticuffs battle for Krillin. So they're doing the classic Dragon Ball thing where they attack so quickly that we can't even see it. And eventually Krillin gets the upper hand when we see him punch Deborah right in the face with a ending clash, punching Deborah so hard that he is knocked down for a bit. So Krillin decides to end this and charges a Kamehameha and decides to go into his buff form. By the 4, his Calm Mind is able to mixture with other forms like Kaioken buff form, Sleek buff form. But yeah, he just bubs up the Kamehameha, it just makes it really big, killing Deborah in one Kamehameha blast. And then that gives Babidi stress thing, and that sends Krillin back to the spaceship where Goku's fighting that light, the guy who eats light. So when Goku's killing him, so Krillin gets back all battered and beaten with his shirt off again. And so Krillin decides to end this right now and just marches past everyone and smashes through the last bottom door and is about to, kill Babidi. But before he can do that, Babidi is already reviving Boo. Yeah, that fight between Deborah and Krillin, plus everything else, revived Boo. And Boo's been just standing there waiting for orders. And then eventually Babidi gives him orders to kill that guy. Or absorb him, eat him, whatever. So Boo tries to do that thing, but Krillin decides that isn't happening too easy. So he flies Boo all the way out of the spaceship and smashes him into a mountain. But Boo just punches Krillin off, and flips him back. Oh yeah, no Majin Vegeta, because Vegeta has been fighting Goku for like a while now. So Vegeta immediately ends Babidi with a big bang attack before Babidi can give any more orders. So Babidi dies immediately, and Boo is like left alone again. And Boo's, still Boo, so he's still gonna fight everyone. So he's fighting everyone: Vegeta, Krillin, and Gohan, and Goku. So Boo's getting kind of mixed, but Boo, it's Boo. So he just smashes through everyone and starts throwing globs to catch everyone. Not to absorb them, just to catch them. And starts beating on them. And Vegeta, is, getting cooked right now. Like, he's the one getting the most beat up. So Vegeta decides, screw this, and goes into Super Saiyan 2. Everyone else wasn't in Super Saiyan, so everyone just decides, okay, and they all power up into their biggest forms. Krillin into Calm Mind, Vegeta into Super Saiyan 2, Goku into Super Saiyan 3, which shocks everyone, but Gohan just powers up into Super Saiyan 2. Yeah, so they're not taking this too lightly. So Boo's fighting everyone, and Goku's kind of kicking Boo's ass. So Boo just decides, fuck y'all, and just does, and then blows up the whole area. Sending Goku flying, depowering him up, and knocking him out at the same time. Knocking Krillin out as well. Gohan as well, sends him flying too. And Vegeta is the only one up. So it's just Vegeta versus Boo. So Vegeta versus Boo is happening, and Boo is kicking Vegeta's ass, of course, and Vegeta, not knowing another option, decides, I'm gonna pull a Krillin, and rushes Boo and rams right through him. which stuns Boo long enough for Vegeta to get in close and then blow up. And in this timeline, Vegeta retains a human body because he's been a good guy lately and hasn't been killing anyone. So that's a problem. So no one senses this, of course, because everyone who can sense it is kind of out right now. So yeah, we cut away to Supreme Kai grabbing Gohan, teleporting him away. We cut to Goku, who was being carried by the Nimbus over to Korin's, and Krillin is just out. Then Krillin wakes up and realizes Vegeta's gone, and the only thing left from Vegeta is his arm. So Krillin, already knowing that he's fine, feeling bad for Vegeta though, considering he's gone through the same thing twice. So he carries Vegeta's arm with him. He puts it around his back with like a cloth, and then walks to Bulma. Bulma, already having the Dragon Balls, immediately summons the dragon really quickly, telling her to revive her husband. And, and then Shenron says, "Your wish is granted." And Vegeta's revived. And Vegeta immediately flies back to Earth. So we cut back to Boo forming again. And he's back. And decides to terrorize the planet. And so he's doing that. And everyone decides that, okay, we'll figure this out. Eventually, Krillin finds Goku at Korin's tower. Korin already healing him and Goku already being fine. And before Goku, and Goku then tells Krillin that he can teach the Trunks and Goten the fusion dance. And Krillin asks what the heck a fusion dance is. And Goku says he learned it from the Metamorons when he was in space. So, decide, okay, more people to beat the crap out of Boo, I guess. So Trunks and Goten get over there, and, Goku teaches them how to fuse with Piccolo as an example, because Piccolo was just with the kids wondering where they were going with Krillin. So, yeah. And eventually Goku's time's up, and, he's out. Then, yeah. Krillin, feeling bad, whoopsie. Wasted Goku's time trying to fight that Majin Buu guy. So Krillin decides to fight Majin Buu, to stall. So he flies over to Majin Buu, and, just Buu, and Buu gets mad and just immediately swings on Krillin, no talking. So Krillin dodges it on instinct, and powers up into, Calm Mind / Sleek Buff form, and starts whooping the shit out of Boo. And, while that's happening, the kids are learning how to fuse. So eventually they learn how to, fuse. And they tap out with Krillin, and Krillin dips with Gotenks trading in for him. And then Gotenks gets his ass kicked. He just gets overconfident, defuses, and then the kids fly away. And so, yeah. Then Boo gets really, really mad, like super mad, and starts steaming. And then a gray version of Boo shows up and shoots a beam at normal Boo and turns him into chocolate, and then he eats him. And then Super Boo is born. And Super Buu immediately knows how to sense energy and just flies over to where everyone is. And when he shows up, he says that he wants to fight the war he just fought, which them saying he will have to wait. With Piccolo saying all that, but Buu says he doesn't want to wait, and then Piccolo says, "You won't be able to fight the Great Warrior if you don't wait." Then Buu decides, "Fine," and puts an hourglass next to him and sits next to it, saying when this thing goes up, he kills everyone. Yes, in this timeline, Piccolo doesn't sacrifice the whole Earth to distract Buu. So Goten and Trunks practice it, and they remember how to do it, so they all walk into the time chamber. Goten and Trunks being like really strong. So Super Buu is ready. So Gotenks and Trunks fuse into Gotenks and goes into Super Saiyan 3 immediately. And starts whooping the crap out of Super Buu. But eventually Super Buu is like winning, or so it seems. Gotenks is actually bluffing and saying that he's actually going to lose. So Piccolo takes that literally and blows up the front entrance of the time chamber. So no one can get out. So Buu gets really mad, and yells and blows up the time, makes a rift, and goes into it. So, seeing the chance, Gotenks and Piccolo also take it. Yeah, they don't get stuck this time. And so, before Super Buu can leave, Gotenks keeps trying to fight him. But eventually Super Buu gets annoyed and absorbs Piccolo, and then it's Super Buu Piccolo absorbed, and this starts beating the shit out of Gotenks because of the power creep. And Super Buu Piccolo absorb actually finished off the fight, trying to finish off the fight with a special beam cannon. But Krillin stops that and tries to fight Super Buu, which he gets obliterated, of course. But before anything can happen, Gohan shows up to fight Super Buu. And then Gohan just kicks Buu off the tower, flies over and kicks him all the way down to like a deserted area. So Krillin, Gotenks decide, I guess we'll follow them. So they follow him. And before Gotenks can defuse Buu, already knowing how strong this guy is, considering he has Piccolo absorbed, and just looking at Gohan, he knows, hell no. So absorbs Gotenks immediately. But this doesn't even help either, because Gohan's just too strong. But in this timeline, before Gohan could get absorbed, Krillin dashes in front of Gohan, but punching him out of the way, telling Gohan to figure out a way to save them from Super Buu. So Gohan watches his uncle get absorbed, and Krillin absorbs Krillin, now taking the gi of Krillin and the hairstyle and the 6 dots on his forehead. So Super Buu gets annoyed and tries to fight Gohan, but Gohan is just too strong and starts kicking the shit out of Super Buu. But of course, it's closer to a stalemate now, until Goku shows up and says to Potara. But Gohan, misses it, and Vegeta catches it for Gohan and throws it to Gohan, and Gohan catches it and puts it on. Yeah, I juked y'all out. Y'all thought you were getting Vegeta? No, we're getting, I guess, just Gohayon? I can't remember. I'm gonna call it Gohaion. So Gohaion um, is the fusion of Goku and Gohan, and it just, you know, does exactly what Vegito did. And this, but Gohaku doesn't get defused in Buu. He actually gets all the way out before defusing, because I'm making it more, visible that it was a time limit and not a magic mist type crap. So Super Buu reverts, bulks up, and shrinks into Kid Buu. And Kid Buu tries to immediately blow up the planet, but Goku shoots it away. So Kid Buu gets really mad and charges an even bigger one. So Goku, immediately knowing he ain't reflecting that, grabs everyone up and teleports them away to King Kai's. To the Kaioshin realm. Which eventually Krillin wakes up. Krillin looks over to see an old dude. The pink guy he saw, the Supreme Kai, he thinks, and another guy. But the pink-eyed guy looked a bit taller and had longer hair. And so he just chalks up diffusion. And so, also Hercule's there for some reason. Actually, no, he's not there. And yeah, things are happening pretty quick, but, bear with me now. So Krillin, tries to figure out a way to beat Kid Buu, considering, they're not strong enough to fight Kid Buu. None of them are. And then he gets gut checked and a big kick to the chin and flies into a mountain. And guess who it was? It was Kid Buu. So Kid Buu decides to box with everyone. So everyone's boxing with him. And Gohan and Goku are in their transformations. And Krillin decides that he isn't gonna, that he thinks savagery can beat savagery. So he just decides to let it go and becomes savage, or savage mind transformation, which this transformation is a transformation where he just straight up starts cracking and tearing muscle, and he starts bleeding from some of his muscle bones, and flies towards Kid Buu with his eyes glowing red, like they're just red, and he starts fighting Kid Buu, with Kid Buu actually being shocked that this guy is, out crazying him. So Kid Buu is like, not on the back foot. Actually, yeah, he is. And eventually, Goku decides that he'll charge up a spirit bomb, considering that always works. So Goku flies up and decides to charge the spirit bomb. And Krillin, being barely able to realize this, decides to send all of his strength into helping the spirit bomb, which actually bumps it up significantly, which Gohan decides to match and do the same thing, which bumps it up humongously, almost the size of, the original, in the original timeline. And it just gets to the originals with Vegeta soaking all of his energy into it. Because Vegeta is, like, perfectly healthy. Because Vegeta just showed up back on Earth. And so it's as big as the original, luckily. And so they throw it, and before Kid Buu can even react, Krillin goes into his buff form, grabs Buu by his little thingy and just tosses him into it. And Kid Buu doesn't have the strength for it, so he just slams right into it, evaporating. With Goku doing the same mistake of, I hope you get reincarnated as someone that's good, so that they can fight. So Kid Buu dies, and and Goku lands, sits, and does a little thumbs up thing, and Krillin giggles. And that's where I'm going to leave things right now. I think I sped through that part, honestly, because I really want to finish this part of the series already. I'm not even joking. I got this community post on one of my Spider-Man posts. I got a comment on one of my community posts about what if Deku had All for One, and I just think that's so cool. But I have to finish up the What if Krillin train more, even if no one's watching it, because I just gotta. I'm thinking that I could finish it next part if I just speed through it, but I won't speed through it. Anyways, hope you liked the video. Like, subscribe, hit the post notification bells. Yes, this is the second time I'm saying this, but I need y'all to know. I need to get to the 100 subscriber goal, Have a good day.